Hey everybody, welcome back to Goodale Farm. I'm Peter. So it's been a good week and a half of interesting weather around here. About a week or so ago, we had a big snowstorm that dropped anywhere from a foot to 2 feet, depending where you are in the state of Connecticut, of snow, powdery snow. So there was a lot of cleanup from there. A few days later, it got warm. Somewhat melted it all. Then it got cold again, and we had freezing ice. So there's now a crusty layer of ice out there, and it's been bitterly cold since then. So kind of interesting. So I'm out for my walk on a Sunday morning. Not a soul out here. No cars, no foot traffic, just me. Very peaceful, very quiet. And I hear the birds and animals making noises. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Okay, everybody. So for today's video, it's a little bit of a responding to the viewer mail or comments, if you will. Some of my my friends and viewers have asked, Goodale Farm? Peter, you're not a farmer? Or, I didn't know Peter was a farmer. Where did Goodale Farm come from? So I hope they answer that today and give you a little bit of background. Yeah, so for me, this life here has been kind of like a gradual buildup of things. And I think a lot of things that we kind of accumulate in life is just that. You start small becomes a little bit bigger, and next thing you know, you look back after some period of time and you're like, wow, I really got a lot of that type of thing, or you really kind of adopted that part of your life. So for me, I think there were like 4 main events that add up to where I am today on this thing called Goodale Farm. This is item number 1, getting lacy. So where'd lacy come from and why? Let me tell you the rest of the story. So about 16 years ago, when my oldest daughter was in her early teens, we were looking for an activity that was good for somebody of that age and something that she would enjoy. We looked at horseback riding and taking care of a horse. And if you're looking for an activity that teaches a youngster responsibility, teaches them about hard work. Now, it's pretty interesting if you get into this horse culture. You can do a few things, and this is what we did. We started off leasing lacy. Much like you'd lease a car or an apartment, we started off with what was called a half lease. I think we had like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, that for those days, the horse is yours. You come ride it all you want, care for it all you want, do what you need to do. And then we went from a half lease to a full lease, where lacy was ours to ride and do what we wanted to 7 days a week. And no different than leasing an apartment or leasing a car. You get at some point you're like, why don't I just own the thing, right? So we went from a half lease to a full lease to just buying lacy outright. Now, when we were doing that, we didn't have a horse property. We would board lacy at a variety of different barns within our community. So here's a picture in the younger years of Lacy and my daughter Noelle. Way back when, God, it was probably 14, 15 years ago. Noelle in a horse show with Lacy. They did great, and something I'm very proud of. So boarding lacy at different barns leads me to item number 2 related to how we got here. And that is, we got to a point where paying somebody to board your horse, and being that it's off premises, it's hard to actually go and see the horse. And one might say, I don't understand, it's a horse. But, if If you have pets, you can understand what it's like to, love the pet, want to see the pet, etc. And that's what that's what Lacey became, a pet. So this idea of, wow, wouldn't it be great if we had a horse property where we could actually have Lacey on our property and on our premises? Now, I'm an outdoors kind of person. I like being outdoors. John Denver said it best. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. That's me. I like to be outside. So I'm all for more property, more land to work, etc. So we started looking for a horse property. So after many years of, I'll say, casually looking, this property came on the market. And, we were pretty choosy because I didn't want to do a lot of work around clearing the land. I didn't want to have to put up a barn. This was really turnkey. Pastures were already set up. Barn was set up. The previous owner had horses. So anyway, long story short, we bought the property. And it's about 5.6 acres with a barn. It's not huge, but it was ideal. Lacey, we brought her home. So that brings me to point number 3. Having all this property is like a blank canvas to an artist. What can you do with all that you have? So I did things like creating that barn quilt by hand, doing this hex sign, just adding my touches to the property. Putting up all the bird houses, adding some honeybees. And if you go back to my previous videos, I think I have a video on each one of these different things. Pretty neat to check out. And I hope you all enjoyed the variety of chicken videos that we had. The one my daughter Eva did, wow, that got a ton of views. So anyway, I think this was the latest thing, is to add a hen house, chicken coop, and the 8 chickens. And the idea, I guess longer term, is to actually set up a little bit of a business, like a farm business, whether it be selling eggs or wildflowers or honey. That's not too far away, but something that we've been thinking about, and hopefully will branch off soon. Which brings me to number 4. Now, to have a decent, successful business, one of the key elements is to have a good, recognizable brand. The branding, if you will, the marketing, if you will. So over the past couple years, I've been watching my fair share of YouTube videos, and I've seen people who have done great just creating a brand for themselves, and a bunch of videos that were not only helpful, but then establishing themselves as, I guess, what they call a YouTube influencer. So, I do a ton of stuff around here. Miscellaneous things that I thought would be helpful to share with others, and at the same time frame, start establishing a brand for this potential business going forward. So that leads me to number 4. What is going to be my brand? What's going to be the business? So this property goes back to pre-1800s, and it was the original homestead of a family called Goodale, and they owned all the area surrounding this property. It's since been subdivided, but this original house here was their homestead, and they had a variety of different farming operations. Sheep farm was one that was commonly referred to when I talked to some of the old timers. Again, another video that I have out there around, I think it was history. It'll give you a little bit about that. So I thought, that would be fitting to recognize and appreciate the past. Call it Goodale and Farm, with the intention to have some type of farming aspect to it. And from there, I gave birth to the YouTube channel. I called it Goodale Farm. So my YouTube channel is just that, the start, if you will. I don't know what the future is for the YouTube channel. Could I get a couple 100,000 subscribers and millions of views. I don't know. But there are people out there that started small like that and have exploded off. They have merchandise. They got sweatshirts with their brand on it. Man, that's just something I dream of. Maybe someday. Okay, my friends, that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And hey, a special thank you to Kevin, Christian, and Lois for your comments and questions about Peter's not a farmer. Or I was surprised with that because it really kind of gave me the motivation for today to maybe answer some of those questions. So, hey, thank you for the comments. Thank you for your views. And I'm hoping you're having a great day. Take care.